It's no secret that board games have been having a bit of a moment for the last 10 or even 20 years. Excuse me, while I crumble into dust. And if you lack the space, time, or a friend group willing to sit through the rules, then I've got some good news. Hello, I'm Astra. I'm looking at cozy board game video games. These are some of the best adaptations I think deserve your time. I will pop up the general base price based on Steam for each one, but it's worth noting that board game adaptations often go on sale. They also have a high chance of appearing in Humble Bundle offers as well. Later in the video, I'll highlight a bonus couple that are coming soon that I am super excited for. Now, I'm not talking about hundreds of themed versions of a Monopoly here, or that one Game of Thrones version of Risk that someone gave you for Christmas a few years ago. These are often high production, big budget, genuinely beautiful boxes of cardboard that look incredible on the shelf, while some are little treats that you slide into your bag to play in a pub. And believe me, folk can get really into board games. My collection alone totals over 100 games. That's a not so humble brag. Most of these games are available on PC and Mac, but a good few turn up on Switch, PlayStation, Xbox, or even your phone. It's also worth looking at Board Game Arena if digital board gaming seems interesting to you. It's a marketplace where you can play loads of board games in browser without downloading a big storefront. It's free to join, but most games need a subscription to host. Thankfully, in a friend group, only one of you needs to pay. While adaptations are never janky as such, on PC the Steam versions usually have a higher production value. I'm putting Wingspan right up at the front because it might be the coziest game I've ever played, board game or otherwise. You run a nature reserve with a forest, a grassland and a wetland, and your aim is to attract birds to it. The adaptation takes the board game's already lovely art, animates it and sets it to the most soporific soundtrack in video games. It also adds a nice lady who reads out a little fact on each bird card as you play.
Scaled quail. Quail chicks can get up and follow their parents as soon as they hatch.
Oh yeah, that's the dopamine hit. It was published by Stonemaier Games and designed by Elizabeth Hargrave, who's been on something of a rampage through the cozy board game space ever since. While it offers competitive play, it isn't cutthroat. The worst thing you can do to another player really is nick a bit of food off their board, which usually offers them a replacement straight away. My distant friends and I get on Discord and play this while we catch up, and I almost never win, and that is completely fine, because winning was never the point. The pretty round birds are actually the point. No friends to hand? Like many of these games, there's an AI to play against. Don't fancy that either? Well, then there's genuinely good solo mode. In my opinion, if you take nothing else from this whole list, at least take this one. Wingspan is on basically everything, but like Skyrim. It's on Steam and GOG on PC, plus Switch, PlayStation, Xbox, iOS and Android. There are a few expansions, some tweak the rules, some just add more birds. I'd start with the base game and only branch out get it, if you enjoy it. It goes on sale a lot, but even at full price, under 20 quid is a lot of game for the money. Next up, Tokkaido, a game with a lovely reputation and art to back it up. In this slice of Japanese loveliness, you play a traveller walking the old sea road from Kyoto to Edo, and your job is to build bragging rights, or to make the journey as rich as possible. Discover the best views, taste the best food, soak in the hot springs, visit the temples, and come home with the best stories. There's a thread of strategy here in whether you rush ahead or take the scenic route, but it never gets sharp-elbowed about it, that this isn't a rush hour commute. The adaptation is gorgeous, easy to navigate, and has a soundtrack I could happily nod off to. If you want something light and gently competitive that won't turn into a fistfight, this is it. It's an older adaptation, but it still checks out, and where it doesn't get to my digital table particularly often, I still think it's a solid offer that goes often overlooked. Maybe I should fix that. Tokkaido is available on Steam for PC and Mac, and is on iOS and Android. Now for something less obviously cozy, Gloomhaven. Now hear me out. Yes, this is an epic and often violent fantasy adventure, and to say the original analogue box is large is doing some literal heavy lifting. When I moved out of my old third floor flat, my friends joked that Gloomhaven had to take the lift down on its own. Inside all that cardboard is a gripping story campaign, one that permanently reshapes the world you're playing in as you go. If you love a Baldur's Gate or a Skyrim, there's definitely something here for you. The catch on the table is the sheer admin, the deck cards, the miniatures, the tokens, the endless bookkeeping. Even when we play the physical version, we use an app for a lot of that, just to make space on the table, to be honest. The digital version helpfully does all of that for you and just leaves you to the adventure. All you bring is the strategy. Now, I wouldn't necessarily play this one solo, mind. It's hard, and more importantly, when you finally crack a brutal encounter, it's really nice to have someone there to share it with. That, more than the skeleton stabbing, is where the cozy actually comes in. That wonderful shared victory and the warm fuzzies. Job well done. Gloomhaven's on Steam and the Epic Store for PC and Mac, and on PlayStation, Xbox and Switch. If you've played the Switch version, I'd love to know how it holds up. I genuinely can't picture this as a handheld game, but I'd be glad to be wrong. So sorry about that segue, but let's retreat back into full cozy territory with Quilts and Cats of Calico. This award-winning little tile placer has you designing a quilt out of fabric scraps for 1 to 4 players. But don't let the cute exterior fool you, there's a properly Moorish puzzle under there. You've got 3 changeable scoring tiles in the middle of your board, and the colours and patterns you surround them with decide your score. There are bonus points for pleasing the cats that tend to wander all over your quilt, often sleeping on it. Although, fun fact, cats are colourblind, so they don't care about your colours at all, only your patterns. Their preferences are listed down the left of the screen the whole time, so really you've no excuse not to make them happy. The cats are modelled on the developers, designers and community contributors of the original board game's own pets. So you can host Millie, Coconut or Leo, and so on, or excitingly design your own, with little props and outfits. Now I don't have cats, I have dogs, but Una is basically a cat and dog costume, so I made a little version of her to sit on my board and get in the way, just like in real life. It's another one I'm bad at and love anyway. It's the sort of game you keep half an eye on while you natter to friends. It's on Steam and GOG, Switch and Google Play, plus Xbox and PlayStation. It'd work fine on a phone, better on a tablet, and it's lovely to have in your pocket for on the go. From cute and fuzzy to cold and crispy, Indian summer. This is less overtly adorable than the others, but it's still deeply cosy. It's a game about a walk in the autumn woods, gathering treasures, berries, nuts, mushrooms and so on, and it's really about noticing the small moments in nature as the season turns. If you've played Tetris, you'll recognise the shapes instantly, though this behaves far more like a jigsaw than a stack, as is pretty on brand for an Uwe Rosenberg game. You're trying to fill your board as completely as possible, making the best use of the little finds along the way. Don't let the sweet, inviting look deceive you completely. It's a proper puzzle, and it takes a bit of practice. Filling in a big clean section is enormously satisfying. Leaving one stubborn empty little square is enormously not. It's a small emotional roller coaster in a cute little package, and finding a badger or a squirrel tucked into the leaves is always a delight. Play it against the AI, against friends, or in solo mode if you'd rather be left in peace. Indian Summer's on Steam for PC, on iOS and on Google Play for Android, and it makes for a lovely evening activity as the summer winds down. Please wind down, summer. I'm so hot. Lords of Waterdeep is the last on the list that you can play right now. It's less cosy, more scheming intrigue by the castle fireplace. If you love the tabletop Dungeons & Dragons behemoth, but not the bit where you actually have to roleplay, or if too many players cancelled on your session last minute, this is your way into that world without any pressure. You play one of the masked lords of the City of Splendours, building a spy network and its intrigue engine, sending adventurers off on quests to spread your influence. It's Moorish, it ramps up nicely, and produces a real gotcha moment when you pull one over on a friend. Playing solo, the AI is sharp, so don't expect it to go easy on you, but it does have a nice muted colour palette with a decent and unobtrusive soundtrack. If you just want an evening of fantasy scheming via the medium of pushing little coloured cubes around, it's a great shout. It's on Steam for PC and Mac, on iOS and Android. However, as an official Wizards of the Coast product, it's one of the few that's not on Board Game Arena, unfortunately. Now, as promised, here's some news about a couple that I'm really looking forward to. First up, Flamecraft. You send a set of painterly and cute little dragons around town to help out the shopkeepers without getting in the way. Baking bread, grilling meat, generally being useful. The dragons have names like Toast and Gorgonzola, which tells you roughly everything you need to know about how cosy it is. The art is beautiful, and while I have the physical version, I cannot wait to get my hands on it in digital form so we can play online. No firm release date yet, rumours say the last quarter of 2026, and the demo is already out if you want to give it a go. And good news if Wingspan looked like it would appeal. Wormspan is coming to digital too. Same idea, different, beast. In this one, you're an amateur dracologist, by the game's law, enticing dragons into your local caverns and looking after them once they arrive. Eggs and dragons galore. Competitive dragon attracting. And if that's not a genre yet, I'm declaring it one now. You heard it here first. And here's a fun fact I discovered while researching this video. Wingspan, Quilts and Cats of Calico, Flamecraft and Wormspan are all made by the same studio, Monster Couch. So if you've noticed a certain shared polish across a few of today's picks, that's not an accident, and it's a very good reason to be excited about those last two. So, those are the digital board games I'd happily clear an evening for. No dice bag or 4 hours setup required. Or even friends, really. Would you pick any of these up? Let me know. And more to the point, is there a digital adaptation you're waiting on, or one you wish existed? I'm always really nosy about how other people play in this space, so tell me down in the comments. Otherwise, it's been an absolute pleasure spending time with you. If this video was useful, or just a nice way to spend a few minutes, a like really does help the channel grow. I'm Astra. Until I see you again, have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye bye.